Good evening, friends. Even I'm wondering who's this guy. And same thing happened to me when I was just checking in and said, I'm Vikram Bhatt. He said, who? I am speaker. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. Okay. So today I'm going to start with, it's working? Okay, fine. I thought I should talk about my journey in some small stories. We'll walk you through my life experiences, highs and lows I've gone through, and hopefully it will be entertaining for you enough. And in case you can resonate, you can relate, you can get some insight of it, take it as a bonus. Part 1. It was a happy incident for me. 97, starting first salon. Why? Because my friend wanted to set up a salon. Needed some help and I helped it. And that is how it happened. And today, that small happy accident I call has become an organization with, as I speak, 82 salons. We opened 3 in last 1 week. 2,000 people, 6 cities. Servicing 120,000 customers a month and still growing. So many a times when we feel all of us have some vision, some think where you want to grow, you have planned something, but it doesn't work. And sometimes small things which you do good for people, it happens. I would like to even share another experience. During this journey, 2010-11, I'm meeting a friend, maybe through one of this such event, and he said, I will talk to you, meet you. We met, and he has started working on the software which can manage salon in some organized way. And why he started? Because his brother was having some 6 centers in Hyderabad and was struggling to see how can he manage the business, and he started. We became their first client. Today, my friend Sudhir and Zenoti has raised $50 million fund from Tiger Global last month, and I'm also a tiny shareholder in that company. So small things at times become really big. Look out for it. Second, 2 years down the line, we have a couple of salons doing really well. Opening 3rd salon in Villeparle. Waited for almost a year or so. Things which we worked in first 2 salons didn't work at all. We are on the fall, trying to find out the reason why things are not working, why are we not able to get footfall, why the business is not increasing. And we were landed into a situation where we were almost at the verge of closing down the salon. And as you all know, I was still a part-time. I was doing things at the back end because I was busy with my own corporate job. So it was not that, this is, if you don't do it, it won't happen. But somehow we felt that it is a time to act brave. And I would say at times the only option for all of us is to just become a brave, because it's like, karta, marta, kya nahi karta, right? And that's exactly happened. What we did was, we started inviting clients. We told them, get free services, don't pay. In our invitation card, we used to mention no condition apply. Because many a times when you do this, people say there has to be some hidden cost. We said, no cost, don't pay anything. At the same time, we ensured that our technicians, they get enough incentives, they get good experience. Now, I'm talking about almost 18 years ago where sampling was not a trend. A lot of our friends, our clients thought these guys are crazy. What's going on? What are they doing, right? But somehow, for us, we had to be brave. We didn't have any other choice. Slowly, things started improving. We started getting the footfall. And in the last 18 years, I feel so great that this Villeparle salon moved from 400 square feet in another 3 years to 1,000 square feet, and in last 5 years has moved to 3,500 square feet place. It's one of our largest salon. It is generating largest revenue and footfall, and probably the largest salon in Mumbai as well. So you never know, there are shocking situations, you know, never know, there are scaring things, but if you keep working on it, it will turn out to be in your favor. By 2002 or 3, service tax was introduced, right? And we are doing our stuff. One fine day, that time we were about 4 salons, and one fine day, service tax team, 17 out of 19 people team just land up to our stores. They take away our computers and whatever it was there, and they said, boss, you are doing something wrong. Later we found that we were not collecting service tax on color. The definition of service tax says that you are supposed to do on color. We thought it is exempted in dye. Hair dye was exempted then, but it was not on color. Now, these are the situations which you really can't control. An ugly situation can always happen with you, but I think more important is that how do you overcome the situation? How do you encounter this thing? How do you manage this entire thing is entirely upon you. It is completely your control. What we did was, without thinking anything, we just paid the penalties, we paid the duties, and we moved on. And on that day, we decided we'll ensure that Enrich as an organization will always be 100% compliant, no tax evasion, no shortcuts, no cash collections, because if you want to grow, your foundation has to be strong. At times, people in various stages of life, we all get, carried away by something bachalunga, right? But I think that's not a profit. That's evasion of tax. You are trying to cut something which government deserves from all of us. So that was a great learning we got it, and since then we became 100% compliant. Later on, it also helped us when we wanted to raise the fund. So think always medium to long term, not just the benefit today or here and now. So you can see the frog. We found a new meaning because that instance actually helped us shake ourselves and see that we ensure that we are doing right thing, right way. It turned out to be an opportunity. So at times we need to reframe the situation, right? Again I repeat, things can go ugly, can happen wrong, but how we manage that situation and what learning we get out of it is more important. We all know, right, when you are kind of striving towards the uphill, it's very, very frustrating, it's very difficult, it's very stretching. Same thing, like even in our case, when we were growing, you need to have staff, situations like because our business was so unorganized, so commoditized, and here we are trying to structure it. Example, like even if you want to give training to our technicians, they will feel, okay, I'm questioning them, means they feel ego, आप मुझे कुछ सिखाना चाहते हो. That means we are talking about those times, even getting training for a staff was like insulting for them. They felt if I go for training, then my revenue will get lost. We have to slowly work out to get that mindset clear. Another couple of things like even having a dress code, a right dress code, we have to literally plead them that you need to look good, you need to feel good, because you are in the business of making people look good and feel good. Even that grooming, right? So there are situations where we need to struggle, there will be resistance, there will be oppositions, but we need to ensure that we think and we act to get where we want to. This is very important. I feel things have to be aligned in whichever business we are, right? Things have to be always aligned. What I mean by this is that we happen, right? When we start any business, small, big way, we happen to work with our friends, families. In my case, my co-founder's wife was my school friend, my brother-in-law was my partner, so I'm coming up with such things. And as the business grows, you take help from people who are around and who are into business, you take their services, you build a relationship with the business. Now this is quite counterintuitive. I'm sure if I ask people, most of us will carry an impression or a thought where we say, friendship, no business, relationship, get away from the business, right? But in my personal case, in our case, it has actually worked other way. As long as you are able to align the interest, as long as you are able to respect the relationship, as long as you are able to ensure it's mutually benefited and business is separate from whatever friendship or relationship you are there, and the decision you take at that moment very which head, I think things can work very well. In our case, it has really worked very well. Our partnership, our whatever we got, company has been in existence for almost 21 years. The same intensity with same friendship, same cordial relationship and warmth, right? So it can work very well for all of us. But aligning is very important, right? Because in this relationship, at times you are fearing, that, okay, it's like a tight rope, either of can get toppled up and can get hurt. But that is not the always case. As long as you are open to ensure that both things can be managed well, it can work very well. At least in our case, it has worked. Quite a few times we feel opportunities coming, and that will decide your course, which is true, right? If you get opportunities, we should all take and move forward. But it's also true that at times to say no or hold back is even more profitable. At initial stage, there were people who wanted to get partner with us, wanted to invest into our business, and we were like almost at the verge of accepting any such proposal. But then we sat back and we said, if any person is coming in this organization wanting to become a partner, that means they are seeing something good in the organization. They are seeing some growth. They are seeing some opportunity. So is it really we need to do something now? And at least 3 times we said, hold on. If an external person is having so much confidence in our business, then why should we not have it, right? So we thought better we work hard, we grow as much we can, and we can decide later. So my message is at times saying no to an opportunity can also be good thing for you, right? Now that business is growing, you have enough opportunities, and at one point of time we all feel that there is some help required, there is infusion of fund required in the business, because whatever resources we have, we exhaust, and at times we feel, now this is the time I'm ready, my business model is proven, my things are working fine, we are a profitable organization, why not? But again the situation is like thirsty crow, right? Our experiences, our suggestion, our advice would be like, stretch as much you can, right? Do not part equity as easy. Initially, at least build to the size where you can part respectable shareholding to the partner who's coming in your business, and keep something for future, because in all businesses more often you require funding for the future growth. It's not just once or twice. We require even a series of them. So ensure you are doing it and maintain that only when you are really thirsty. Do not just get away very easily. You are growing, you get equity, you are scaling up, but scaling up has its own consequences. It creates stretches, it creates inefficiencies. Things which were working, suddenly you find, my stock is going haywire, my billing system is not working. In our case, we suddenly grew from 12 to 40 in just 1.5 years. I'm talking about way back in 2011 and 12. And that time, we really realized that we thought things are in place, but nothing worked in our favor. Customers who want to visit Enrich from a particular one outlet to other outlet, how do you ensure they get same experience, they get same benefit? 80% of our business is through memberships, right? So they need to get these benefits across our chain. And suddenly feel that the software what we are using is obsolete. We need to do something different. When we move to a new software, inventory model was not working fine, and in that year I remember the kind of losses we've incurred because of mismanagement of inventory and overusage and non-accounting. Billing issues were so many, right? But that is fine, that's part and parcel of the game. Every growth opportunity, every scaling up exercise will bring in inefficiency. But it is upon us how to ensure that how fast we can react to it, how fast can we correct it, how fast can we get back on the track. And that confidence, that strength we all have to have. No point in just scaling up. It will, for at least reasonable time, it will create havoc, and we need to manage that, get back to that balance. This experience or a journey or a kind of phase of our life where at times you know that you want to go forward, you want to move in the right direction, but we have to take one step back to move two steps forward. In our case, for almost 3 years, from 2014 to 2017, for various things, we could not manage to get the fresh equity infusion, the second round of infusion. But when we got it, we ensured that we take it, and it so happened that the second round was more or largely secondary funding, wherein our existing equity partner who had invested in the year of 2011 got a good exit, plus one of our promoters decided to step back. So we gave them a exit. And we all know when you do any such deal, when the secondary part is higher than the primary, somewhere the valuation will get compromised, right? But we took that call consciously because, again, keeping in mind that there is something ahead, we need to took this, we need to gulp it, absorb it, whatever you call it, and move forward. It is because I'm so happy we are partnered with a fund which is one of the largest fund and has got a business model or investment cycle which is perpetual. It's not time driven, right? So at least if this industry, if this business has growth opportunity, there won't be any lack of fund or support from the partner we have aligned with, right? So it's okay to hold back, it's okay to take one step back to move ahead. We all know, right? Work then will never guarantee that it's going to work now or in future, right? Things do change. Processes do require reviews. System does require upgrade, right? Our thought process has to change. Scaling up is not only business, scaling up is also for our mind, our team. So when you start growing, you need to ensure that business is growing along with a proper scaling of minds, teams, systems, processes, right? And then only you can really get a profitable growth. You get funding, you scale up, inefficiency are there, you find out some things are not working, but you want to bring in a change. Again, you are going to be very careful. Change has to be subtle. You have to manage the change. We can't change सारे घर के बदल डालूंगा, right? It can never happen because it can only disrupt the business. It can create only negative environment if you try to do too many things at one go, right? The change has to be subtle. And in the example, if you see the duck, it sails in the pond or the river so swiftly. But if you see, it actually does quite a bit struggling to get further. We don't get to know, right? So ensure that whatever change you want to bring it has to be in confidence for people, situation around, and see to that it is done slowly and steadily. This is one thing even I personally struggle to work upon, right? Attach and detach, right? We do get attached to the businesses, people, something we really like to do, we do it, right? But business requires some measurable goals, objectives and outcome, right? It cannot be, especially things which are not working well and resulting into losses. We need to have a stop loss. There we need to be little, I will not call it cruel, but brave, to ensure that somewhere you draw that line, that it doesn't take you forward. Even in our business, like, and when I'm saying I'm also struggling, like, we have history, we have never shut down any salon ever in my life, in our journey, right? While we feel proud about it, but there are a couple of centers where we feel that we are making losses, and somehow we can't really take the decision that how can you get detached to that thing, because you feel love and you say, no, it's okay, I'm making some losses. But depending on the scale, size, how much is your appetite, see to that we always have that stop loss threshold, right? So detaching also is important. It could be cutting down the business, maybe shutting down on vertical, it could be hiring off some team, or even outsourcing some of the part of the business to someone else who is going to bring more value addition. So that continuous exercise, thought process has to be in our mind where you want to really grow and make a business which is really profitable. I think I have covered almost 12 stories and I'm ending up my time. This is what I had to share with your guys. I'm open for any question, anything you have in mind.